Okay, so I'm back now from Athens and I had it was a really good holiday. I have to admit though, Athens is pretty much like Naples and it's a big dump basically. Um, I don't even know how to fix it, you know. If I was walking around and I really felt like I'd just gone to Thailand, to Bangkok, where, the buildings are terrible. Some of them were nice. There was occasional nice buildings, but right next to it, it would be like next to an ugly building, and then next to that there would be an even uglier building, and then next to that would be a building that's so run down that it's literally just a shell that has pieces bit fallen off in it, and I don't know, no windows and stuff. You know, there was there was a big range. It was like someone's got a bunch of nice buildings, really nice buildings, and then a bunch of okay-ish buildings, and then a bunch of just standard crappy buildings, and then a huge number of falling down buildings that have got cracks in, and then just sort of smash them all around so that you've got a nice building next to a hideous one, next to an okayish one, next to a, I don't know. It's just like you don't know how to fix the place. That's the problem. The streets, the pavements were awful, cracked, like like a complete jigsaw puzzle that's not meant to be. Like someone's just got like 20 horrible jigsaw puzzles and then all mashed them all up into different, so that all the paving's different. So you have, I don't know, a red brick paving, and then you have bits missing, and then you can see someone else has filled it up with something different, and then sort of mished around. So I think it was mildly even. But yeah, just cracks everywhere. And then you could look at the ends of the buildings and you just think that nothing has been done to a nice finish, except for the occasional buildings. Occasionally you find nice buildings. But yeah, walking around kind of made me feel quite depressed because it was like, ugh, okay. And then you find the nice area, which is the market area. There was some really nice market area, and there's a big high street that had a lot of stuff on. You know, that one street was really nice, and there was all these little churches, but they looked more like caves. And with a lot of the churches in Rome, I feel like a lot of the pictures can have alternate meanings. You know, is this Jesus being worshipped by a woman, or is this Jesus rejecting this woman and calling her, like, saying get away from me, like there seems to be, the picture seemed to have multiple meanings, and I feel like I could read into it and tell a different story to what the painter would have meant the story to be. But with these ones I couldn't do that. It was literally just pictures of Jesus, and there was nothing really more to say about it. And I don't know how religious people in these countries in Greece are, but um, yeah, I don't know. There wasn't really much I could say because I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. The place looked like a ruin, and I wouldn't know how to fix it because I would say, okay, if that building goes, and if that building goes, and if they were changed into nice gardens, would it actually make anything? Would it make the place look better? And it's like, well, no, because then you can take a look at that one. That one's got, you know, and then you kind of think the details. And it's just like, if I had a house and I had a builder and he'd finished it to this standard, I'd just like, you know, this the edging, you know, it's got like, it's almost like the building built dif, dif, decremikis. I don't know. The edges of the housing were not straight. They were all like, I don't know, like they hadn't been evened up. You know, the finish in houses in England are, there's a nice finish to everything, and the streets are all, you know, that there's very few cracks in English streets, and just here there was just, you know, if I was to choose one building and say everything that I think that the builder had done wrong or something, there'd just be too many things to point out, and then you could do it to every single building, and you just think, okay, how would this building look? How would this country, this town look better? And it's just there was too many things, you know. If I don't know, the one thing though that I really really liked about it was that they had a very very impressive, on the hill, a very impressive I don't know, ruin. Let's just say it's a ruin, but it used to be a church to Athena. It was a temple made for Athena, and there are very few temples to a goddess that have survived. And this one is the most impressive temple that I've seen. In fact, probably one of the only temples that I've seen that's still mildly standing. Oh, but it was sad because it's a temple to a goddess, so it's like, wow, there's actually one that still exists. That's amazing. But then to think how much problems that this has gone through. There was a museum, and that it showed like the history of it, and it just felt like it just had lots and lots of people attacking it, and people coming, looting this picture, looting the statues, looting the things, ending up all over the place. A lot of them ended up in London as well. I hope they get them back because I like this temple, mostly because it was a sort of a gift to Athena, who is a goddess, and I'm a big fan on that. To save it, they even tried when the Greece got taken by the Ottoman Empire. They even tried turning it into a mosque as a way of like preventing people from destroying it, because religious people are very horrible, and if a church is dedicated to something that's not their god, they will want to attack it. But if it's dedicated to something that is their god, then they will want to protect it. And so all you need to do to protect it is just be like, okay, it's sure your god now, it's for your god. And in reality, it's just like, does it really matter who's god? It's a temple that a bunch of people have spent a lot of work, building it, and the stones are so heavy, and I don't know. But if any temple in the whole world can be restored to its, because they're actually in restoring it, so they're putting like marble, they're trying to build it up, and you can see all the old marble with the new marble, even though the old marble doesn't even look like a marble. But if it's very, very old, then maybe that's why it doesn't look like marble. But you can tell the difference between the modern marble that they're adding to it to try and repiece it. But they've got loads of different bits. They've got all around the edge of the temple. They have huge, huge amounts of bits that have fallen off it, and I think it could be quite easy to just pick it up, put it on, pick it up, put it on. Although I think the filling in the bits with the new marble, that's quite complicated, because you need to know the exact size, and I don't know. Can't you just fill it in with cement? Like, is that just put the blocks, get that crane thing that you had in the middle, put them back on the top, and then just put in cement that's the same color? Because I don't know, the new marble that they're putting does look good, but it doesn't really look good because it's not the same color, and it's very, very different, and it's just going to look like a jar that had been broken into 1,000 pieces and then stuck together using glue that's completely different to the original. That's kind of what it looks like, what's going to look like if it's finished in the way that it's being finished. But anyway, whatever. It's old with the new's fine, but if any temple gets restored, I think that one should. Why? Because a lot of ruins are beyond repair. But this one, there's a lot of pieces there, so it could be put back together. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces still there. Better pieces haven't are gone. The ones that the design, I think a lot of that's been destroyed, or lost, or whatever. But I don't know. If you rebuild and put like the Colosseums to their former glory, technically these things were actually built to kill people for entertainment. So I don't think you really want to be putting the Colosseum back to its former glory. Whereas a temple that's made for a goddess, I feel like there's so few of these around that if you can put one back to its former glory, that would be the better one. But I don't know. I don't know what the future is. I feel like Athens might have a problem in the future because I don't know what's around the corner. And maybe I only think that there's going to be a calamity because I'm watching all these stupid Christian channels and they keep going on about it. And I don't know who's helping me because it feels like no one's helping me. But at the end of the day, if people have dedicated themselves to the God of the Bible, the God of the Bible promises that there will be some sort of war at the end of the age. The God of the Quran also promises that there'll be some sort of big war and judgment at the end of the age. And I don't know if people are willing to help me or not, but if they're willing to help set up whatever's going on in the Bible or whatever's promised in the Bible, I'm only going to be able to do that with people's help. I need help to promote myself as being God, and then test the world to see if they believe or not, and it will come out. And I don't know if people actually want the truth about me to come out because it's going to cause problems. But at the end of the day, don't you want problems, or do you want problems? And how can you help the God of the Bible if you're not going to help me? Because that Bible is inspired by me, and anyway, whatever's going to happen will happen. And if there is going to be some calamity where a lot of people commit suicide over it, I feel like Athens might have a big problem, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who live in Athens don't like how it looks, because it looks pretty bad, and I'm sure they would want to go to better places. And better places, if they're going to have problems, if the whole population is going to half, I'm pretty sure people who live in Athens would want to live somewhere a bit nicer. And therefore, I don't know how Athens is going to recover, because it's a lot of work to make Athens look like nice. I think more than billions of pounds. Every house, every building is tall and needs a basic refrontal, and needs the whole thing done, and it's huge amounts of money needs to be put into it. And if there's going to be a population problem or a population reduction, I think a lot of people who live there would rather go somewhere else. Um, so I don't know what the future for Athens is. I'm sure people who live in Naples would rather live in Rome. And I don't know about Athens, because I haven't been to that many places in Greece, but there are some nice places in Greece. Corfu was okay. Cyprus is better. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see that temple being restored, but there is so many buildings in Athens, but the whole place looks kind of hideous. So I don't know what the future holds for that place. But I did a lot of walking, and there were some really nice temples at the top, and there was lots of walks. And I don't know, I liked the walks, how there's like a sea of buildings, and then you just had these mountains that popped out, three or four mountains that just popped out, and you go climb up the top of them and got a really nice view. But yeah, I think looking at the place only looked really good from a distance. If you looked close up, there's a huge amount of work that needs to be done in renovating it. And I don't know, uh, if the people in Athens, if they could live somewhere a bit nicer, a bit prettier, would they want to? Would they rather do that? Probably. I don't know. Maybe they look nice inside, but I am. I don't know.